Hello, everyone. Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. It is myself, Denise Salcedo, and boy, do we have a lot to talk about here today. We have 4 hours of pro wrestling action, both SmackDown and AEW Dynamite to talk about here tonight. So we are going to go ahead and pretty much get all of that going. As you guys know, since you guys have been with me each and every single week since AEW has been preempted, it always gives us so much to talk about. We are going to jump in and start things off with Friday Night SmackDown, and then we're going to work our way into AEW Dynamite. So it's going to be a blast. For those of you who are new to the show, just FYI, make sure to be active throughout the show if you are in the chat, if you are watching live, because I will be reading your comments throughout the show as we go through everything. We have both our YouTube viewers today and our Twitch viewers today. So shout out to the Twitch homies and to the YouTube dudes and dudettes. All right, we're actually going to kick things off first and foremost with a super chat from Brandon Charles Powell. Thank you so much to Brandon, who says, no one gets over with 50-50 booking, cough, cough, Liv Morgan versus Carmella, cough, cough. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad that Liv got the win, but can we decide on who we are pushing? Yeah, it was absolutely kind of unexpected to essentially have that. Not even unexpected, guys. A lot of SmackDown today was it was not good. It was not good. There was a lot that I unfortunately did not like on the show. We definitely saw a lot of 50-50 booking. He mentions one example of Liv Morgan and Carmella, but we got an even bigger one in that with Shinsuke Nakamura and Baron Corbin. But there is a lot to talk about once we actually dive into SmackDown. But thank you so much to Brandon, who kicks us off with our first super chat of the day. FYI, if you are watching on YouTube, you can send in a super chat. F4W Online does allow me to keep 100% of the proceeds of any money that I make from YouTube. So I thank everyone who ever sends in a super chat. All right, we actually got we got a couple of more. Also, heads up, guys. So I am on my new computer today, so things are a little bit new today. I'm running things differently today. It has been a crazy day, so hopefully everything goes all right. We have another YouTube super chat. This one is from Paul S., who says, did anyone see beloved babyface Evil Uno coming? You know what? I love the package that they showed today with Mr. Brody Lee. It was just so nice to see his face on the screen. Always get very emotional seeing that, obviously. But thank you so much to Paul S. for sending in this super chat. We have another one from Khaled Adam, who says, evening, Denise. Thoughts on if Otis run-in was late? Dude, I don't think I noticed that his run-in was late whatsoever. But maybe that was just me. I missed a couple of things that were sort of interesting on SmackDown today that a couple people brought up that kind of happened just so fast. And it's like, if you blink, you probably missed it. And we are going to jump into those as well here today. But thank you so much to Khaled for sending in this super chat. We have another one from Sam Pi Boone. Thank you so much to Sam, who says, hey, Denise, you are a funny and beautiful woman. Thank you so much, Sam. He says, I will go to Raw on September 6th at Miami, Florida. And I hope Raw will be a great show. And I'll be sitting near the ring. Dude, congratulations, finally going to a show. That's awesome. I'll tell you that the first wrestling show that anyone attends, post-pandemic era, it definitely does feel very, very strange at first. But then at the same time, you're like, oh my God, I'm so ready to go out there and really have a good time. So Sam, I hope you have a good time. Thank you so much for sending in this super chat. Alrighty, and someone says that my mic is a little bit off. I noticed that as well. And it's probably... Are you guys hearing me better now? 1 second. How's that? Are you guys hearing me better? Sorry. Again, like I said, I am on a new system, so things are a little bit different here today. If that sounds a lot better, please let me know in the chat. Like I said, things are new today, guys. Things are new. Someone says that it's the same. That it's the same. How's that? Is that any different? Oh, God. I don't know if that's any different at all. All right. 1 second, guys. All right. I know that's probably not going to be... Okay, people are saying it's better now. Okay, so heads up, guys, just FYI, F4W a long time ago sent me like all of this awesome They sent me all of this awesome stuff for my audio. However, I just know how to plug things in. I don't know what any of the buttons actually do. So I'm sorry about that, everybody. I usually have like my normal setup, and then I just plug everything in, I tune in, I do my show, and I don't move anything. But again, new computer, things get moved all around. All right, cool. So everything's good now. We can go ahead and move on, and I can stop stressing out about that. All right, guys, so let's jump into SmackDown. We're going to go in order of chronological events. We're not going to run through everything. We are just going to run through the main points of the show, the biggest highlights, kind of the things that we actually want to talk about. Yeah, it's definitely Brian's fault for my audio, because this is all high-tech stuff that I do not know how to use. I demand that I get trained on all of these audio equipment. All right, here we go, guys. So let's kick things off with really what was the chunk of SmackDown, which was Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso. And it's like that each and every single week. It's really just been about Roman, Jey, and Jimmy. And we definitely saw the continuation of that here today. And so today, I kind of felt like there was a lot of good that came out of this storyline, but at the same time, I'm starting to wonder if it's dragging a little bit. Do we feel like Roman Reigns and the Usos storyline is starting to drag? Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, what the hell, Denise? Like, why are you saying it's starting to drag when we had like this phenomenal promo from Roman Reigns and all of that? And I totally get that. I love the Roman Reigns promo today that he did today with Jimmy. I loved everything that they did today, but I'm kind of starting to feel like it's just been moving along very, very slowly, especially at the top of SmackDown. So we had Jimmy Uso coming out. He's pissed off about the events that transpired last week, given the fact that Roman Reigns essentially ruined their opportunity to defeat Rey Mysterio and Dominic. And so he's mad. He's mad at Roman Reigns. He's mad at the fact that he feels that he's jealous and that he's doing this on purpose. Obviously, us that we've been watching the show, we know that Roman Reigns is sort of jealous. Obviously, there's different layers to him. He gets angry. He's manipulative. He's a bunch of different things that all fall into one. But Jimmy then says he's going to do something that he won't regret. And I got to say, I was so into this very passionate Jimmy Uso who comes out and he's pissed. And I really like this. Backstage, we still see the same things the same mind games that Roman has been playing on Jey Uso, where he's trying to get him to turn on his brother completely. And we do kind of see Jey stick up for Roman Reigns a little bit here today. But again, we kind of see that Roman Reigns wants a little something more to be like, hey, either he acknowledges me, either Jimmy learns to acknowledge me, or you just like fully come on over to my side. So what do you guys all think in regards to everything that happened here tonight? Again, I kind of feel like it's dragging a little bit, but there were a lot of good things. And considering that it's the best part of the show, I guess I can't complain too much. All right, we got a comment from Alyssa Stansberry who says, never Roman Reigns turn heel. Roman Reigns is real heel. Seth Rollins guy. Okay, kind of got your comment just a little bit here. This one is from Brandon who says, I'm still hooked on the Roman Uso storyline, but at some point, something needs to happen. That is kind of how I feel too. Like, when are they going to pull the plug on something? And I know here that Mayor Gal Awesome says they're waiting for The Rock. Obviously, that was something that Dave talked about today on the Wrestling Observer newsletter. So we all, we're pretty excited about hearing that news. But in terms of the actual storyline, let's see what else we got here. And this one's a comment from Smith who says SmackDown was awesome. The Roman stuff, of course. Yeah, it really was. Again, the meat of the show is always Roman Reigns and the Usos. Once again, guys, if you are on the stream, if you are watching live, whether you're watching on Twitch, whether you're watching on YouTube, however you are watching, make sure to send in some comments because I will be reading them throughout the entire show as we go through everything. Okay, here we go. Thank you. This is a comment from Kyle Rochelle who says, it's starting to get repetitive. That is exactly how I feel. Like, I get it. Like, every week Roman Reigns comes out and he really does deliver, these fantastic promos where he's talking about all of this, really getting into Jay's head, really trying to really mess with him and getting into, talking about himself and just everything that he's been doing since he turned heel. But again, it's starting to feel a little bit repetitive. And let's see what else we got here. I'm going to go through a couple more comments. This one is from Chris who says, We need more development in this storyline. I get it in long terms, but when will we see any movements? Will Jimmy side with Jay and Roman? I don't know. See, exactly. I think that hopefully during that match with Rey Mysterio, although I don't think so. I think that his match with Rey Mysterio, if they officially confirm it for Hell in a Cell, I do think that maybe we'll see something come about it there. But at the same time, I have a feeling that they're really going to stretch this one out. And this is a comment from Maj, who points out that they need to do something with Jimmy soon. Dwarn also feels the same way. He thinks it's too repetitive, but we're getting the shift now. Yeah, I guess it's better than nothing, right? It's better than not having anything that we're at least interested in on the show. But let's go ahead and move on, everybody. So after this, we had Kevin Owens and Big E versus Apollo Crews and Sami Zayn. So the funny thing about this is that we literally have not seen Big E since he was laid out by Aleister Black. Obviously, Aleister Black is no longer with the company, so it was kind of funny to sort of see how commentary essentially completely ignored the fact that we have not seen Aleister Black. They completely ignored the fact that Big E was laid out by him just a couple of weeks ago. And it was funny too, because the way that they were doing it was they were talking about Apollo Crews, and they were like, oh, the last time we saw Apollo Crews, and oh, the last time we saw Sami Zayn. And they were doing a lot of that on commentary, but they weren't mentioning anything about Big E, which was really like the big elephant in the room here. So I did think that was funny. This match was perfectly fine. It really kicked off when Big E got in the ring. He literally got Apollo suplex after suplex. Apollo gets him with an enziguri, but Kevin Owens ends up pinning Sami Zayn after hitting him with a stunner. And really the match sped up once Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn really got going during this match. Post-match, we see Apollo get absolutely pissed off. And this was probably my favorite part of this entire story here. So I love the fact that Apollo was pissed off that he lost this match. And he told Big E and Kevin Owens, the reason why I lost this match was because I was paired up with Sami Zayn. And then he challenges them to a match next week, but this time his partner is going to be none other than Commander Aziz. And I thought this was great. Come on, think about it. Apollo Crews, he's this cocky heel. He's got this big man literally protecting him at all times. So obviously he's not going to be afraid to challenge these guys, and that makes him an even bigger threat as champion. So I love this. I think this was one of the few things that they definitely got right on SmackDown, was definitely what they had when they had Apollo Crews challenge Big E and Kevin Owens for the match next week. Also, Commander Aziz will be officially making his in-ring debut. So I am curious as to how that's all going to go down, but I guess that'll be a conversation for next week. And let's see what else we got here. This one is from Dwarn, who says, I like how Owens and E ruined the drama pause with their back and forth banter. Chris Cage wants to know, where are we going with Big E? Dude, he was about to jump into a storyline with Aleister Black, and then that was completely scrapped away, which is still crazy to me, because I know we talked about this, but it's still crazy to me given the fact that we literally had Aleister Black come out, hit him with the black mask. He has this new, entrance, and then he's just gone. He's just gone. Oh, man. And this one is from the Cooge97, who says, so Commander Aziz is supposed to be I don't know who this is. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to skip this comment because I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Coletta Adam wants to know if we're gonna see Big E versus Aziz. Well, I'm gonna tell you whether or not I'm gonna be excited about that if we do get to see that once I actually see Aziz and see what he can actually do in the ring. And then I'll probably go out and say, hey, I want to see him against Big E. So I guess it all really just depends here on all of that. And this is a comment from Joseph Boza, who says, Big E is screwed thanks to this latest cut. It was looking like Kevin and Apollo would feud over the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Big E and Tommy end now. Who knows? All right, guys, let's move on. All right, so after this, we had, oh my gosh, this is, okay. let's talk about, because this is kind of where some of the issues start to arise on SmackDown. So SmackDown for me was always kind of, not always, but people would always talk about SmackDown essentially being that show that, is totally different from Raw, and oh, they're doing such good things on SmackDown. And for a while, it definitely felt that way. But now it kind of just feels like a different version of version 2.0 of Monday Night Raw. And the reason for that is we had Carmella versus Liv Morgan today, and this is the second time that they're doing this match. Obviously, we just had this match with Carmella defeating Liv Morgan, and then we're having this match again. But I'm thinking to myself, okay, you know what? Yeah, I do not want to see this match again, but I get it because they don't have like any women on the actual roster. Really, they have very, very few women on the roster. But the thing that I was thinking about here where, okay, I can hone in on the negatives here of it being repetitive and the fact that there's no women on the roster, or I can kind of see the positive in this. So the only positive that I can find in this was the fact that Liv Morgan and Carmella are essentially getting more in-ring time to just get better, especially Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan, who is somebody that I think that if she really had like the confidence in herself and like in her in-ring ability, I really do think that would shine and she would actually just be like a lot better in the ring and grow. So with that being said, like I feel like there's something there, but the problem is that this was just not interesting. Like I was not interested in seeing this match. It's just the second that I know that I'm seeing a repeat of something, it just completely takes me away from the show. Completely. Also, Carmella is now going as the most beautiful woman in all of WWE. And I think they said it last week, but I didn't catch it last week. I caught it this week. And I don't mind it. I'm like, cool, that's awesome. They're giving her something new. I like that. I like the fact that she's going as the most beautiful woman in all of WWE. Also, Liv Morgan defeated Carmella tonight. Fun fact, that is officially now Liv Morgan's first single win of 2021. But then again, we saw that coming considering that Carmella lost to her last week. This is a comment from Ace Shock who says the state of the WWE women's division. Those comments are biting Triple H. Yeah, it's not. And it's not even the case because I fully believe, what he said about the, hey, we have some of the best women on here and, our women's roster is incredible and all of that because they do have a lot of talent on their women's roster. They really do. It's just the fact that a lot of these women aren't being used or, hey, they just got cut or they're just not doing anything creative with them. Like there's an opportunity there. I just don't necessarily know if they're seizing it. And obviously things are definitely different on the NXT end than they are on the Raw and SmackDown end. So, obviously there is that difference there because he did talk about the fact that on NXT, they really do try to give the women, time and opportunities and some focus on them and all of that. And you do see that on NXT, especially if you watch the show each and every single week, you do see that for the women. The problem is that they're just not bringing up a lot of women or in terms of building new stars amongst the women. Like we're always talking about the fact that there's not very many stars on the men's side. I feel the exact same way for the women's side. The second Becky Lynch left, I feel like a lot of the women's star power completely went down. Obviously we saw everything that Bayley and Sasha did and that was absolutely great. I mean, they carried a lot of the pandemic era, so good for them on that. And then Bianca Belair, she was essentially the hot rookie that came up and the hot new star, but that has gotten stale. Rhea Ripley went a completely different route than what we were expecting of. So it's kind of we still haven't found that next person that obviously they still have something in Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, but it still doesn't feel very, very concrete there, I may say. This is a comment from Sticker Reds 202 who says, so many Liv fans will rejoice over her finally getting a win, but nobody has faith in WWE anymore that it'll go anywhere. Yeah, and obviously people are going to be happy that she got a win. Good for her, but does that even mean anything anymore? Does it mean anything anymore? I don't know, guys. I just don't know. And okay, let's see what else we got here, guys. Make sure to send in your comments. I'm going to be going through a couple of these. And this one is from Theo Atlas 89 who says, WWE needs to take a month off break and give their talent and writers time to get themselves right. And while on a break, show some old Attitude Era or best shows leading up to a season premiere of the new WWE brand. Yeah, they're definitely not going to be taking a break. And as much as it sounds like I wouldn't say it sounds like a good idea, but I get what you mean. They definitely need, no, but I don't even think it's like a refresher. They just need people that are willing to they're writing for Vince McMahon. That's the thing, though, is they're writing for Vince, and that's why we're getting the type of content that we're getting. It's not necessarily it's kind of frustrating a little bit, guys. It really is, because I definitely try. There's a lot of things that I like on the shows, but when I don't like something, I do have to talk about it, and it really bums me out when I don't like something. But there was a lot on this show that I did not like, okay? All right, let's go ahead and move on. Yeah, this is a comment from Tano who says, come on, Denise, wins and losses don't matter. You are right. You are really right. Mike Lima says, remember when AEW was criticized for their women's division? WWE had all the talent and squandered it. Again, they have the talent. They just need to find a good way to utilize the talent. All right, and so there you go. That was Carmella versus Liv Morgan. But after this, guys, oh my God, it just continued on. This was not good either. And I'm going to sound so negative during this portion of SmackDown, so I apologize ahead of time. But we had Ding Dong Hello with Bayley and Seth Rollins. And after this, I'm a very happy person, guys. I love to laugh. I love to have a good time. You guys know this. If you watch my shows, you follow me on Twitter, whatever the case may be, I'm always making jokes. I'm always having a good time. I never want to hear anyone laugh ever again. That is it. No chuckling, no ha-has. It's done. The happiness is over. I never want to hear anyone laugh ever in my life again after this segment. Okay. Even later on for the rest of SmackDown, when something made me laugh, I was like, God damn it, I don't want to laugh, because it's just I got so mad with this segment. All right. So first and foremost, we have Bayley coming out, and I didn't see this until afterwards, till somebody sent me this on Twitter, that when Bayley came out, they put the wrong lower third. So instead of putting her Bayley lower third, they put WWE champion Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman lower third. So they took it off the screen really fast. I don't know if that means anything. That may have just been a very, very bad production botch, but it was there. It was awkward. It happened. Okay. So when it comes to Bayley and Seth Rollins, I saw a couple of people that were like, oh, this is funny. This was funny. They have good chemistry. Yes, Bayley and Seth are good, but this segment was not good, okay? So they were both showing each other's clips from previous events that happened that would essentially piss them off, and then they would close it out by just laughing. And it just got so annoying. And I feel so bad to say that, but it was so annoying just hearing them laugh hysterically, this very, very forced laugh. And I know that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to get under your skin. It's supposed to be this maniacal, madman, annoying laugh. Well, congratulations. It worked, because it was so terribly annoying. The best part of this was when the doorbell rang and it ended up being Cesaro. Cesaro comes out of that door from Ding Dong Bayley's stage, and he literally kicked Seth Rollins' ass. I love that. I thought that was absolutely great, because it was fun. It was just fun to see Seth Rollins get his ass kicked. Cesaro takes off his pants. He ruins his suit. He's in there in his black boxers. I mean, I thought this was perfectly fine. And I thought they could have got into this. They could have got into this attack. They could have got into this return of Cesaro without having to do any of the other comedy ha-ha stuff. They could have just gotten straight to the point. Now, it gets worse for me. I'm sorry, but it got absolutely worse when you have Bianca Belair, your champion who is so easy to like and people love her. And she comes out and she just kind of joins in the exact same way in an annoying fashion, where she just comes out and she just starts laughing too. She starts laughing. So Bayley was laughing, Seth Rollins was laughing, and now we have Bianca Belair laughing. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not gonna laugh. I'm so upset. So the only good part of this was really Cesaro. But other than that, I did not like this segment whatsoever. And if you like the segment, congratulations. But I hated it. I really, really hated it. This one's from Brandon Rosen. Thank you so much for the super chat. It says, I changed the channel during this segment. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I don't get it. Okay, here we go. Titoti says, I really love that segment. I was laughing with them like WTF. Sure. Ha ha ha. Oh my God. God bless you, because I could not do it. I could not do it whatsoever. Tyler Wilson says, Seth has nothing creative written for him right now, and it sucks because he's so talented. Yeah, and it's very obvious. You can tell when there isn't something planned for someone. It's just really, really obvious. And let's see what else we got here. This one is from Mike M. says, I'm so glad I didn't watch SmackDown tonight. IBN says, I'm glad I didn't waste my time watching this. And I see that's why I feel bad, because I don't want people to be like, oh, she says it sucks, so I'm not going to watch her. But you guys are all people that can make your own decisions on all of that. Wonderstruck says, either that or crowds going to be sitting on their hands saying nothing, like back in 2019 when fans were dead watching these shows. Yeah, like even there were several shows like during like pre-pandemic era when we still had crowds. I remember there being like, you know, when I was covering Raw specifically, I remember there being shows where the crowds were just like, all right, cool, what's next? And they weren't feeling it. And so like, I know that a lot of us are like, okay, well, when crowds come back, things are going to change. But I'm pretty sure if I go back and I watch some of my past, you know, Raw reviews post-pandemic era, I'm going to notice that I was probably talking about the exact same thing. So that's very unfortunate, but what can you do? Alrighty, guys. So there you go. That was that segment there. After this, we had what could have been a really, really awesome match that was ruined by a distraction in between the match and then a not so good finish. So we had Montez Ford versus Chad Gable, and they had a pretty nice tease of a match. Okay, it was a tease. That's what it was. All right, they gave us a couple licks of this ice cream and did not give us the full entire thing. Okay, so Montez Ford and Chad Gable kick off this match. Gable works the left arm of Montez Ford. Gable gets him in an ankle lock. Ford is finding different ways to like counter out of things, but Chad Gable still keeps getting the best of him. Montez Ford can't seem to get his footing in this match just yet. And dude, I just gotta say, like Chad Gable makes everything look effortlessly easy, and so does Montez Ford in his own way and what he brings into the match. So having two guys that make everything look so easy, it was a very enjoyable match with like a very nice flow. And then we go to commercial break. We come back from commercial break and we kind of continue this match a little bit. And I'm waiting for it to get back to where it was before the commercial break. But then they end up they cut away to Dawkins, who's backstage watching the match, and he's rooting for Montez Ford. But then he is attacked. He's attacked by Otis. And so I did not like this. I did not like doing that during this match, because that just tells me, hey, you don't have to care about this match whatsoever, because now the focus is here. And then afterwards, we go back to this match, but you can tell that Montez Ford and Chad Gable are working it in a slower pace, because they know the focus is not really on them. So they're trying to time it out, and they're like, okay, we're back now. So here we go. So we finally have Montez Ford getting the advantage of this match. In this match, he does a standing moonsault, and then he ends up getting a 2 count. He hits the frog splash and gets another 2 count. But then Otis comes out and attacks Ford, and so it ends up being a DQ. And Otis essentially goes like batshit crazy and starts beating up Montez Ford. He gives him a frog splash twice, and he's essentially just, full on heel now. I mean, he kind of already was, but more so now. And here's the thing about Otis as well, is that had they not done the like the whole Miz Otis lawyer thing that they did with the Money in the Bank, where they were fighting for the briefcase, I think it would have been so much better had they just had Otis actually cash in the Money in the Bank, failed to cash in the money in the bank and have that essentially be the thing, the trigger point that essentially turns him heel. And so for me, I think that there was a missed opportunity there when you think about Otis and his character development from being the funny haha I'm in love with Mandy Rose guy to being this guy now. And I do like what they're doing now with Otis, and I'm excited for what they're doing. I just kind of hate that this match was sort of ruined because I was really, really feeling it. All right, so what did you guys think about this? Montez Ford, Chad Gable, the new Otis, all of this. All right, here we go. Let's see what we have here. This one is from ZGen3852, who says, Chad Gable shouldn't speak a word. He's an excellent wrestler. With proper mouthpiece, he could be a major star. I don't necessarily mind Chad Gable speaking. I wouldn't say that it bothers me at all. So I'm pretty cool with it. Tyler Wilson says they've ruined Otis ever since they gave him the Miz case. Yeah, they shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have given him the money in the bank. They really should not have given it to him. I feel like it was a nice, like, funny moment, him getting it at the top of the ladder and ending the show like that. Okay, that was funny, but it was very obvious following that they never had any intentions of actually doing something properly with him. I think had they actually booked him in a respectable manner and not made him seem like this like goofball, I think people would have taken him seriously if he was presented in a different way instead of just being like, a dork. They could have definitely done something better. Thank you so much to Baby J Mumphrey, who says, love this stream. Thank you guys so much. If you are new to the show, I just appreciate you coming on here and giving me an opportunity to check out the stream. And I already know all the regulars on here, guys. You may not know this, but I know you guys by name. I know you by your username. So I recognize people already based on how many times you come into this stream. We have another super chat. Thank you so much to Kaleem Alahi, who says, Cross should debut and beat Reigns for the title. I think a lot of people probably think that Cross is definitely losing tonight, losing at NXT TakeOver in your house. And I feel like there are more people who feel that he's actually losing the title than winning. So this may definitely be a possibility, but I don't agree with this because I don't necessarily, based on what we've seen from Cross, I'm a fan of Karrion Kross. Okay. So don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of Karrion Kross, but I don't necessarily feel like he's the guy to beat Roman Reigns. And when I say the guy to beat Roman Reigns, it's literally got to be someone who we all genuinely feel should be like the next guy. And I just don't know who that person is right now. Personally, I don't have somebody in mind because I don't think that there's anybody there that I personally would say, hey, this is the guy that Roman Reigns should lose to. This is the guy that it's worth all of this time that has been invested into Roman Reigns. Let's cash the Roman Reigns check right now and, pull the plug with this guy. There is nobody right now that I feel this way about. And as much as I like Karrion Kross, I just don't think that as of what we've seen right now, I don't feel like he's the guy either. I really don't think he's the guy. And let's see what else we got here. Yeah, this is a comment from Dwan who basically says that Cross isn't ready to take off the title off of Roman Reigns. So I completely feel the exact same way. And all right, let me see if we got anything else. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and move on because I just realized I spent way too much time talking about SmackDown. We still got AEW. All right, really quickly, guys, let me get really, really angry. So here we go. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Baron Corbin for the 1,000,000th time, guys. 1,000,000,000 times. I'm gonna be honest. It's my job to watch the show. Okay, it's my job. I pay attention. I take my little notes. I tweet. I do all of that. I think about what I'm gonna say on the show. I really put a lot of effort into what I'm gonna present on the show. Right? I am so sorry. Please forgive me, but I did not give a rat's butt about this match whatsoever. I tuned out. I was like, I'm going to go on Twitter. I'm going to read what people are saying because get this, guys, May 14th, Baron Corbin defeated Shinsuke Nakamura. May 21st, Nakamura defeated Baron Corbin. June 4th, Baron Corbin defeated Nakamura. June 11th, which is today, Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Baron Corbin. And guess what? We're going to get a rematch. Adam Pearce announced a battle for the crown, which I'm assuming is obviously Baron Corbin versus Shinsuke Nakamura to get his crown back. So I'm sorry, but I could not care less about what these two guys are doing. And I feel so bad because I like Baron Corbin. I like Shinsuke Nakamura, but I do not want to see this match 100 bazillion times. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm like 100% over it. And the fact that I'm going to see this match again is going to make me nuts, guys. I'm going to go crazy, okay? Okay, this one is from Kareen Hassam, who says 50-50 booking, brother. Yes, that's all it is, guys. That's all it is. And everybody, I cannot tell you how many comments I got from people on Twitter just putting 50-50 booking, 50-50 booking. And I'm like, dude, if this is a fractions class, this is a math class, just put this in a word problem. If Baron Corbin defeated Nakamura, and then Nakamura defeated Baron Corbin, and then Baron Corbin defeated Nakamura, and then Nakamura defeated Baron Corbin, what was the percentage of the times that Baron Corbin won, and what was the percentage of the time that Nakamura lost? You can put it into a math word problem now. Okay, sorry. I can't with that. I'm done. I'm done with that. I'm really, really done. The Psalm says Jey Uso is a highlight of the pandemic era. Hell yeah, he is. You know what? Kudos to Jey Uso because he was given an opportunity that I don't necessarily think that a lot of people thought that he was going to go with really far, and then he ended up did, and I think he blew whatever expectations people had of Jey Uso. He definitely blew those out of the water. So personally, that's how I feel about that. We have a comment from Advi Devon who says, the fact that the matches between the two aren't even anywhere near as good as they could be is probably the most irritating part to me. Exactly, because think about this. How many times haven't we seen Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn in some sort of capacity, right? Whether it be a singles match, whether it be a tag team match, whatever, whether it just be an attack. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to say that I want to see it all the time, but I don't complain about it because at least when they're in there, it's good and they have great chemistry. So I don't necessarily get mad about it. Like the time that we had when we had Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns for like 100 times. I didn't care. I didn't mind that either because I thought that they had great matches and I was a fan of those. Now, obviously, not everyone's going to agree, and there were people that were completely sick of that, but I wasn't. I was definitely still feeling that. Okay, maybe not so much Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton because that did take a very, very long time. But I wasn't necessarily completely hung up on the fact that we were seeing it so many times. But with this one, I definitely feel that way. So that's how I feel. Okay, let's see what we have to say. Let's see any other comments here. Tanil says Denise almost said a bad word. Dude, I say so many bad words, but thankfully, I'm not on the radio. The only show that's on the radio is Wrestling Observer Live. So this is a podcast. I could definitely say bad words on here. Let's see what else we got. And LFIV says, maybe this would have worked better if it was booked as a best of 5 for the crown. Dude, they should have just told us ahead of time. It's going to be a best of 360,000 matches. Just tell us. At least let me know so that I can be prepared for it. So I can be mentally prepared for it. Oh my God. All right, guys, let's go ahead and Twitch Face 4 says, don't pull a Semper Vivi. I know I heard Brian and Mike Semper Vivi arguing about Semper Vivi cursing and all of that. Yeah, I caught that. All right, guys, really quickly. So SmackDown ended with Rey Mysterio calling out Roman Reigns for disrespecting his family, challenges him to a Hell in a Cell match challenges him for Hell in a Cell inside of a Hell in a Cell match. All right. So that's most likely going to happen. I don't think they've made it official yet, but it's bound to be official. So that's happening there. All right, guys. Oh, and also Roman Reigns killed Dominic. All right. Let's move on to AEW. Oh, man, guys. All right. Friendly reminder for those of you who are here watching the show. I have not done my plugs really quickly. For those of you who do not know, if you're new to my streams or whatever the case may be, I do go live 3 times a week unless AEW is preempted. But I do cover NXT on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, AEW Dynamite, unless it's moved over to Fridays. And then Fridays, I do SmackDown. And obviously, with the preemption, I am doing AEW Dynamite and SmackDown. So that's 4 hours of wrestling crammed into one tiny itty bitty hour and a couple of minutes and change. So also next week, from the sounds of it, AEW will be on a Friday again. So that means that I will be on here talking about SmackDown and AEW once again together. But if it's not preempted, I will just be doing SmackDown and AEW on Wednesday. So, well, you guys know, whatever the wrestling schedule is, that's when I'm on here. All right. Also, I do schedule the streams in advance. So if you go to the YouTube channel, you will be able to see all of the advanced streams scheduled in on there. Okay, let's see what we got here. This is a comment from Patrick who says, a little off topic, but Triple H's conference call comments trying to blame fans really shows how tone deaf WWE is, whether the business is blaming the customers for its problems. This has definitely been a major topic that obviously everybody has been talking about. Brian and Mike definitely went into great detail on that on Wrestling Observer Live, so you can definitely check out their conversation on that. It really bumps me out because a lot of you guys know, and I know there's a lot of criticism to people that are, WWE fans or whatever, but I grew up a WWE fan. I was always a WWE fan, and I still am a WWE fan. And so it does bum me out to kind of see comments like this where you're like blaming the fans, for caring about what is going to happen to the talent, what's going to happen with the storylines. And it's like one of the things that I was saying on another podcast was that's how it is for every realm of entertainment, whether you're a big fan of a TV show, whether you're a big fan of a music artist, whether you're a big fan of a movie franchise, whatever the case may be, you're always going to have fans, analyzing things and, even critiquing things. And so I did think that was a very unfortunate comment to sort of say. But now let's do this, guys. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite. All right, so the show opened up here. You know what? I forgot to give my overall thoughts. So I like to give my overall thoughts before I actually jump into everything chronologically. So I thought AEW today was a pretty decent show. Last week I came on here and I was like, I thought AEW was a really good show, and nobody agreed with me. So I was completely off. So maybe today I'm not as confident in my opinion on what I thought about AEW, but we're going to go into it regardless. I did think it was a decent show. Again, it wasn't like a blow away spectacular or anything like that by any means, but I did enjoy myself very much. So we had the opening match, which was Christian Cage versus Angelico, and we essentially had Matt Hardy come out and basically say that Christian has been jealous of him for years, says that he will never financially recover from this match. And I thought this was hilarious. Again, Matt Hardy, Christian, they have, years and years of history. We already all know that. This match itself, I thought it kind of started off a little slow, but it slowly and surely started picking up. And what I liked about this match was that it was a very different style from what some of the matches that we've seen Christian Cage do since he returned to since he debuted into AEW. And the fact that Christian Cage is doing this outwork everyone, gimmick, character, whatever you want to call it, the fact that he's doing this, you have to have him do these types of matches, these different types of matches. And we did see him do the diving headbutt on here as well. I'm curious as to what your thoughts are on Christian Cage doing the diving headbutt. Are you guys a fan of it? Are you guys not a fan of it? Send in your thoughts on that. But so post-match, we do see, Christian Cage does win with the kill switch, and he gets the win there. But post-match, we do see Jack Evans go after Christian, and then Matt Hardy essentially gets him with the twist of fate. Again, this was a solid match. Nothing spectacular, but it was perfectly fine, and both guys looked phenomenal. After this, which I was a really big fan of, or have been a big fan of, is the pairing or the recent alliance of Jungle Boy and Christian Cage. Dude, Jungle Boy coming out to sort of assist Christian Cage. I like this because now we're starting to see, ever since Double or Nothing, that they've, started something there. And I like that. I like that because Jungle Boy is going to be, he's going to benefit so much from just even being with Christian Cage and just like learning from him. And obviously, Jungle Boy is still young and he's getting this awesome opportunity against Kenny Omega and all of that, but he still needs to learn. There's still a lot of growing to be done there. So I gotta say, I'm a fan of this alliance between Christian Cage and Jungle Boy. But here we go, guys. We have a super chat from Colette Adam who says, when Tony said Brock, I didn't expect who came out. Oh, don't worry. We are going to talk about that. Do not worry. I have some thoughts on that. I cannot wait to get into that. We have another super chat from Elijah Zinselmir. I don't think I said that correctly, but I tried. Elijah says they definitely knew what they were doing when they said Brock. Oh, hell yeah. And then they kept going at it. I heard Brock, and obviously they're going to call him Brock. That's his name, right? I'm sorry. It's just like, for me, there's only one Brock. And for me, it's Brock Lesnar. And obviously for a lot of people, it definitely is Brock Lesnar. And I can't wait to get into that. We will get into that shortly. I am going in chronological order, but seriously though, talk about a it was a small pause from Tony Schiavone. It wasn't even like he exaggerated that pause whatsoever. But I think in my mind and like everybody else's minds, based on what I saw people tell me on Twitter, everybody heard Brock and was just like, what? Everybody, I think, had like a mini like heart attack freak out moment in that very half of a split second moment where you just hear Brock and you automatically like assume, Lesnar, obviously. Razor 2910 says, I chuckled so hard. And then Mike M says, Brock is all elite. Brock is officially all elite. Alrighty, everyone. So after the Christian Cage and Helico match, we had it's time already, guys. What the heck? I forgot the order of this show. All right, so now it's time to talk about this whole Brock Anderson spiel. Since we're already talking about it, let's dive in. It's the next segment. All right, so we had Tony Schiavone come out and he's announcing this tag team match, right? QT Marshall, or what he wants to be known now as Marshall, Aaron Solo versus Cody. And he first says it's going to be the debut or the mystery partner debut of a new person. And then he goes on to say that it's going to be the AEW debut of Brock and what felt like a zillion years of a pause, Anderson. And again, during that, when I heard him say Brock, I didn't obviously, okay, let's be real, guys. Let's just say that Brock Lesnar was coming to AEW. All right, let's just say that. If Brock Lesnar was coming to AEW, they ain't gonna be debuting him in a tag team match with Cody Rhodes against QT Marshall and Aaron Solo. Like, that is not gonna be happening whatsoever. Like, that's not the way you're gonna introduce Brock. But the second that I heard Brock, I disregarded everything else that Tony Schiavone had said. It was like I didn't hear any of that whatsoever, and all I heard was Brock's name. And I was just thinking like, oh my God, is this really happening? But then again, he said Brock Anderson, and I felt a little let down. I'm not gonna lie. I felt a little let down because that one split second of hope really got me going there. But anyway, so Brock Anderson, 23 years old, guys. This is his like intro into AEW. I'm curious as to what you guys thought. So please send in your comments here. I'm going to be like really nice about this, and in the nicest way possible. I was not a fan, and I'm going to be real. I criticized WWE and SmackDown. I'm also going to criticize AEW Dynamite when I see fit. And I got to be honest, I was not a fan of Brock Anderson. I think that first impressions are very important, and I saw absolutely nothing where, and I feel bad because he's probably like a really nice person. So I'm really sorry, Brock Anderson. But on TV character wise, I did not see anything. I thought he looked super stiff. He looked uncomfortable, and he had like zero presence. And even when they introduced him as Brock Anderson, I was like, that's him? That's him? Like, obviously he looks like his dad. That's for sure. But I just didn't really feel like there was anything there to really get excited about. And so Marshall, challenges Cody to a strap match for the first AEW on the road. And then Cody says, let's do it now. So Marshall whoops Arn Anderson, and Brock essentially does a horrible takedown, and he does horrible worked punches. So I was not a fan of that either. So even that like moment of action, that like blimp of action that he got, I didn't think actually came out very well. And so let's talk about that. How did you guys feel? Do you agree with me? Do you guys feel like I'm over exaggerating? Let's see what else we got here. This one is from Tanol, who says, come on, Denise. I know you pay attention to the show. He's been on Dynamite before. Cody shook his hand when he was at ringside months ago, and they named him on commentary as Tis Tis. I don't remember that. I don't even remember that. For me, this was definitely my introduction on this one. Cody says, I must have fallen asleep during his introduction. Tyler Wilson says he didn't even hype up the crowd. And Chris Cage says, why would AEW need Brock Lesnar? All he'll do is beat the AEW champion and hold the title title hostage. Remember the Universal Championship on Raw back then? Hey, Krista Cage, I'm a fan of yours, but I'm also a fan of Brock Lesnar. No bad mouthing Brock Lesnar on my stream because I am a Brock Lesnar girl. All right. So there you go. And let's see what else we got here, guys. Go ahead and send in your thoughts here. This one is from Ludite11, who says he should have growled out the Brock like Heyman just for maximum troll. Dude, might as well, right? Go for it. Be like Brock. And then Anderson. And okay, guys, so again, send in your thoughts as we go through this. I'm going to try to see as many as we can. This one is from Architect 216, who says he's green, he'll get better with time. Yeah, obviously this was just the first introduction to him, and maybe I'll have a different thoughts when I actually see him in next week's match. So I could be completely wrong, and next week I'll come on here and be like, I'm the world's biggest Brock Anderson fan. You never know. It can happen. It could definitely happen. And okay, let's see what else we got here, guys. A-Shock says, you and Adam have Brock Lesnar in common. Hashtag anti-chemistry. All right, guys. This one's from Patrick, who says, Brock Anderson disappointed twice. Not Brock Lesnar, not Ken Anderson. Oh, man. Alex Aguilera says, Brock was in the crowd on Dark and Denise doesn't watch Dark. No, I do not always have time to watch Dark, guys. I watch so much that I don't, unless people are telling me like, hey, go watch this, and I will make time out of my way to go watch something, but I don't always get to watch the show. All right, guys. So there you go. Once again, if you're watching the replay of this, feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section, how you guys felt about the debut of Brock Anderson. And did you at any sort, even just a split second moment in time, think that they were going to announce Brock Lesnar? I know we're kind of reaching there, but hey, it happens. It happens to some of us. Also, the other thing that I do want to mention in terms of, Cody and all of that, I do think that, and this is going to sound, obviously we all want Cody Rhodes to sort of, take a step back and turn heel, but I do definitely think that now is really the perfect opportunity for him to turn heel and really freshen up his character. So QT mentioned that Cody had been stuck in all of these vanity projects, and I do agree with him, and I think that a lot of us can agree with him as well. And I think that that's something that should play a role in maybe shifting Cody from going to a babyface to being to a heel, and finally saying like, what the hell? He's right. Like, why am I essentially wasting my time on these vanity projects when I'm Cody Rhodes? I could be doing this. I could be doing that. I'm a bigger star. Like, screw these vanity programs. I think that he should definitely, this could definitely be a gateway to that turn. And now I don't know if it's actually going to happen, but I kind of wish that it would. And also, given the history of the Four Horsemen and Dusty, I actually do think that it would be poetic if Cody were to turn on Brock Anderson, on Arn Anderson's kid. I think that would be a pretty nice poetic story there to tell. So there you guys go. That is my thoughts on all of that. All righty. And lastly, let's go ahead and move on here, guys. So we have, oh man, here we go. So after this, we had Penta, Pac, and Eddie versus the Bucks and Brandon Cutler. This is a pretty fun match, guys. This is exactly the kind of match that you get from the Young Bucks. I feel like the match that you thought it was going to be, if you didn't watch it, this was exactly the match that it was. I thought it was hilarious, though, that the Bucks still had Brandon Cutler essentially work as their cameraman. Like, they always have him working as their cameraman. But even though that he's actually in the match and they still made him work, we saw a lot of great spots in this. Obviously, with Penta and Pac and the Bucks, you're bound to get that. Penta hits the Destroyer on both Bucks. Pac hits the 450 splash and locks in the Brutalizer on Matt Jackson. Pac, Penta, and Eddie end up getting the win here. And then post-match, the Bucks and Cutler attack them with the help of the Good Brothers, and Frankie Kazarian comes out to help. So again, I think it was really not much I want to say to that, other than that it was a fine match whatsoever. All right, and let's see what else we got here. All right, let's move on. It is now time to talk about the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle. So obviously my prediction was wrong. My prediction for Stadium Stampede, AEW Double or Nothing, was I thought that the Pinnacle was definitely going to defeat the Inner Circle and that was it. We were officially done with the Inner Circle. So I honestly for a while, I really was not a big fan of the Inner Circle as baby faces. And if you've been watching my AEW post-show reviews, you'll know that. There was a lot of moments where I kind of felt like they weren't necessarily the baby faces that I thought they should be, especially because they went from being some of like the top heels in the company and then did this like immediate shift into becoming baby faces. And I really felt like they skipped a lot to actually get to that point. And I didn't really feel like I wanted to cheer for them as baby faces. So that's kind of how I felt. However, today was probably one of the first nights where I actually felt like this is a good thing for them. This is exactly how I feel. I like them as baby faces, but it was really today. Today was what did it for me, because I absolutely loved the fact that after the Pinnacle essentially was out there, talking about, everybody got their turn on the mic to essentially address the person that they were brawling with at Stadium Stampede. I liked all of that, but I loved the fact that afterwards you had Jericho pop up on the street, on the screen, and you had the Inner Circle essentially all around the Pinnacle's limo, which we saw them drive up in. They have these sledgehammers, bats, whatever they have, and they just start smashing the hell out of that car. We see Santana do some spray painting on the actual limo, and then out of nowhere you see Jake Hager with a forklift just ramming straight in through that limo. Oh, I love that. I thought that it looked great. It looked cool. It was fun, and it was pretty exciting, and it made me want to cheer for the Inner Circle as baby faces. They felt cool to me today. They felt like somebody that I want to get behind. If I didn't feel like some of the past weeks, I kind of felt like it was forced, like, oh, I have to be a fan of the Inner Circle because or I have to cheer for the Inner Circle because they're the baby faces now. But in reality, I agree more with a lot with what the Pinnacle is doing. And so today was really the first day where I actually felt like they felt like babies, like stronger baby faces to me, at least in my opinion. All right. And so, guys, what did you think about this segment? Let's see what we got here. And the Coog 97 says, even MJF's scarf was full on heel. Dude, MJF had a badass line where he said, where he was talking about Jericho, and he was talking about like how he used to idolize him. There was a moment where he talked about the fact that he wasted all this time idolizing Chris Jericho because he ended up just being a false god. I thought that was fantastic. Architect 216 says best match of the night was the trios match with Pat Kingston and Penta and the Bucks and Cutler. And all right, guys, let's see what else we got here. This one's from Ludite 11, who says they are DX faces still being jerks, but now to bigger heels. I like that. I completely feel you. And someone says, would you interview MJF? I wish I got a chance to interview MJF. I thought it'd be pretty fun. Blowing Smoke 247 says, El Barto was sprayed on the limo. Nice homage to the Simpsons. So I don't follow the Simpsons. Like, I've seen a couple of episodes, but I wouldn't say like I'm a diehard fan or anything. So I had to Google what that meant. So I was one of those losers that had to Google what El Barto means, or El Barto. And I went and I saw the whole Simpsons thing, and I thought it was pretty funny. So now that I understand what it was that he was putting on there, I'm cool with it. Mark Warburton says the planted crowd noise that was way too excessive and brought down the enjoyment of the match of much of the show for me. Says it sounded way too fake. It happens. I saw a couple people actually complaining about that. Yeah, I did see a couple of people saying that. Kareem Hassan says, I thought it was an actual Spanish word. So I knew it wasn't, obviously, because I'm fluent in Spanish. And I was like, you know what I thought, though? I thought Alberta was like a new slang word that maybe I didn't know about. And I was like, man, I thought I was all up to date with my Spanish. I consider myself fluently Spanish, and I don't know what Alberto means. So yeah, I get you on this one. All right, guys, we saw Evil Uno versus Miro for the TNT Championship. I just got to say, I really like the video package that they played before this match with Brody Lee. I thought it was really nice just to have him on there and just have him on the screen. I really like that. Miro gets Evil Uno with several body shots. Evil Uno goes for some chops, but it really doesn't do much to Miro. Obviously, look at Miro. It ain't going to do much to him. Evil Uno hits him with a senton off of the apron. Evil Uno then gets Miro with a boot to the face, a tribute to Brody Lee, which they did mention over on commentary. And then after the commercial breaks, hits him with a senton from the top rope and goes for the count, but he ends up missing. And then during this time, we see the Dark Order come out, and they're all rooting for him. They're all rooting for Evil Uno. showing their support. But then Uno hits Miro with a discus lariat, and then Miro gets him back with a lariat himself. And then Miro stomps him on the back and gets him with the game over, and Evil Uno taps. This is a fun little match. Obviously, none of us actually expected Miro Uno. None of us expected Evil Uno to get the win here. But overall, they gave us a good match. It was fine. I like the incorporation of the Dark Order. And then obviously we get to see the Dark Order later on in the night. So we will talk about that as well. And this is a comment from R. Riggs. It says, Miro looks like a beast again. I love it. Yes, love it. I think so I remember when I was talking about like Braun Strowman being one of the recent releases, and people were asking like whether or not I saw him in AEW and all of that. One of the reasons that I said is that I didn't think AEW needed Braun Strowman was because they already have, guys like Miro. They have guys like Lance Archer. And I think right now Miro is absolutely killing it. He's doing the big man stuff better than I think somebody else would do it. So I'm a fan of it. The Cooch 97 says, Evil Uno Miro match was great storytelling. The fact that Miro beat right in front of -1, and the Dark Order was emotional vibes. Oh yeah, like it kind of made you feel bad. Like you all knew that he was going to lose, but then he has his friends out there and they're cheering for him, and then you kind of feel terrible because you know that he's going to lose. Next week, JR is going to be interviewing Andrade, and I'm very interested in this because I made a joke on Twitter. I was like, how on earth is JR going to, how is he going to interview Andrade if he can't even say his name? So that was kind of funny. All right. Here we go, guys. After this, we had Tony Schiavone, Kenny Omega, Don Callis out in the ring. Don Callis is essentially pissed off. So is Kenny Omega. They're calling Jungle Boy a one-hit wonder. Obviously, we're going to get that match on June 26th, the Saturday edition of AEW Dynamite. Kenny Omega then says that he sees Jungle Boy as a little Kenny Omega and that he respects him and that one day he may be champion, but that something is missing in Jungle Boy. And for a while, I started thinking, well, what are they going to say? Because they kept saying, oh, something is missing from Jungle Boy. Something's missing from Jungle Boy. And I didn't know where they were actually going with this whatsoever. And so then they say, Don Callis says, what's missing with Jungle Boy is that he has no guts. So I thought that was pretty good. I like the way that they're weaving in Jungle Boy into this as, the fact that he's going for the title, but they're also making it in a way where it's believable. Like everything that's happening so far, obviously we all know, I feel like we're all pretty sure that Jungle Boy is not going to come out winning the title whatsoever, but I like what they're doing story-wise leading up to this. I thought that this was great. So Jungle Boy comes out, and Jungle Boy is just like rocking a head of curls that are way better than Kenny Omega's curls. And Kenny tells him, like, I didn't know you to be much of a talker. I've never even heard you talk, this and that. And then Jungle Boy just basically tells him, like, dude, you talk too much. They go at it. I like this. Simple. I love this. I don't know what else to say. I thought this was great. This one is a comment from Mark Warburton, who says, Don Callis is such an awesome promo. Dude, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I think we already know that. I think everybody already knows that. Our Rig says, JR is interviewing Andre El Iglu. El Iglu. Yeah, exactly. And let's see what else we got here. This one is from Blowing Smoke 247 says the video package about the conspiracy against Kenny Omega was a well done vignette. Yeah, I thought that was awesome too. So I'm glad that they also incorporated that as well. Tyler Wilson says Jungle Boy with actions louder than words. That's what I like that they did too. I like that they kept it short with Jungle Boy. They had him just essentially like call him out for like talking too much, and bam, they get it. I like that. It was really quick and simple. The Miguel says Andre Envelope. Oh my God, these names, guys. These names that we are coming up with. All righty. And all righty. We're going to go ahead and move on to really quickly. So we got a quick promo backstage from Mark Sterling and Jade Cargill. I thought this was pretty good as well. I know that I had some, I was kind of a little bit not really expecting a lot from Mark Sterling, or at least I didn't know what to expect from him. But I liked so far what they had him do backstage, essentially just, talking about Jade Cargill getting in all these offers and how the money's coming in and how her stock has gone up 43%. Thought this was really cool, straight to the point. We actually have a super chat. Thank you so much to Brandon Rosen, who says, Jungle Boy is the most over guy in the company right now. He ain't winning the title now, but his time is coming. Again, it's good to have guys like Jungle Boy that people can get excited about at least and actually feel like there's a possibility where you're like, all right, I'm going to root for him. I'm excited for him. And it's only going to make Kenny Omega an even stronger champion if he defeats guys like, Jungle Boy, guys that people are excited about. So, yeah, I definitely agree with you here. And, all righty. Thank you so much to Brandon Rosen for the super chat, by the way. All righty. So after this, we got Lance Archer versus Chandler Hopkins. This was really just a squash match, guys. Archer came in ready to kill the guy. He did. That was pretty much it. There really isn't much to talk about that. Then we had Nyla Rose versus Layla Hirsch. Nyla makes fun of her for being short. This match gets started off hot. And for a second, I actually thought that this was just going to be a glorified squash match, but it kind of ended up being a little bit more than that. They gave Layla a lot during this match, and I'm glad because for the most part, from what we've seen from Layla, she's pretty good, and she comes in with a lot of energy. And I like how the people are always, not always, but I like how Nyla Rose, poked fun at her height, but then she comes out here and she's like, no, like, I'm ready to take you on. We did end up seeing Nyla win this match, but I actually thought that the way Nyla won looked awful. I thought the power bomb that she gave her for the win was terrible, and it did not look good whatsoever. But the match itself was other than the finish, I thought the match was actually pretty good. And lastly, we had an awesome promo from Britt Baker, and she essentially, my favorite line of this is just her basically saying that she is going to add Nyla to the list of jealous bitches in the back, and that was phenomenal too. We have a comment from IBN 1989 who says, that was a cool match. Layla Hirsch is pretty good. Yeah, for the most part. I honestly really feel like Layla has been good. Yes, I feel you. All righty, and let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Lastly on the show, we had Powerhouse Hobbs and Cage versus Hangman and number 10 Preston Vance in the main event. Honestly, the only thing that I really want to get at here is that I'm so sad that we're not going to get to see much of Hobbs and Cage as an actual tag team because they look so badass together. Like, even them coming out, like, these are two guys that you are surely not going to mess with whatsoever. Like, you are not going to mess with these guys. Look at them. They look great. And then they came out, they have this awesome fun match. We see Hobbs looked absolutely great in this match, but then we see Cage hit the Hurricanrana. We see him do the 619. Hangman Page ends up taking him down, but then they tried to get Brian Cage to use the FTW belt to cheat on this match. We've seen this before, but he doesn't. He doesn't want to do it. We know that Cage is he's officially sort of made like his babyface turn, or he's at least in transition to that. And instead, Starks comes out and he starts getting pissed at him and he slaps Brian Cage, and Brian Cage gets super pissed, chases him off, and essentially leaves Hobbs all alone to do this match with Hangman and Preston Vance here. Hangman hits the buckshot lariat, and number 10 ends up getting the win here. So I'm kind of bummed that we're not going to get to see them as a tag team, especially because they're working towards the breakup of Brian Cage, essentially leaving Team Taz. So that's where they're headed to with all of this. So yeah, I'm kind of a little bit bummed out. We have a super chat. Thank you so much to Brandon, who says Britt Baker's promo was awesome. This is why she's the champ. Hope she holds on to the strap for a long time. Oh, dude, like, she's gonna be already, I feel like she's going to be a very good champion, and she's definitely, like, even with her promo today, it's just like everything that she's been doing since like winning the title and even before that has really been top notch. Some of the best work that we're seeing in the women's division, not just in AEW, but like across the board. All right, guys, that is pretty much it Oh my God, we did it, guys. 4 hours of wrestling in over 1 hour show, but we did it. Thank you guys so much for joining me each and every single week. I really hope that you guys enjoyed the show, enjoyed chatting with me, and I hope that you guys come back on Tuesday for NXT. And then I'm also going to be talking about AEW and SmackDown on Friday night because, again, AEW will be preempted. So I will be here on Friday talking about both shows just like today. So make sure you guys come on, have a good time. And if you haven't already, make sure you guys follow on the Twitch channel, follow on the YouTube channel, and you guys can also follow me on Twitter and or on Instagram at _ Denise Salcedo. Thank you guys so much. Have an awesome night, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday for NXT. Goodbye, everyone. Take care.